Hello everyone. If I look kind of greasy, it's because I am, because I'm smeared in sunblock and I went for like a 6, 7 mile hike around the lake today. So I haven't taken a shower yet, so I'm nasty. Anyways, I'm Aaron Dusk. I am an indie author of two books, The Mark of Emuli and The Varcross Key. If you want to know more about those, the link will be in the description. But today, I am not going to be discussing writing at all. I'm not going to be discussing my books, writing, or anything like that. I am going to discuss something that has been asked a lot on my Discord channel. I've been getting more and more questions regarding my weight loss, and I decided today to do another video detailing a bit more of what I did to lose weight, as well as reacting to some fat talk TikTok videos. Since I wanted to keep this video a little bit more on the positive side, I'm going to choose, a few negative videos, and then I'm going to choose a few uplifting ones as well. So this way we can end on a nice positive note instead of a negative one. So anyways, let's get into it. Yesterday, I decided to mountain bike up to 11,500 feet in the middle of a thunderstorm, which probably arguably wasn't the most rational decision I ever made. But when you live in the mountains, especially when you live here where I do, the weather changes very quickly. So when I left, it was actually clear out, and there were just a few clouds in the sky, and then about an hour later, I looked up and the clouds are black and it's starting to thunder. So that's just one of the things of living at this altitude and where I am currently that you have to contend with. So if they say that thunderstorms are likely, take that as they may happen or they may not happen, but you don't know because nobody really knows. And today it was actually beautiful. There was no rain at all forecast, so I decided to go walk about 6 miles along Turquoise Lake, which is actually a good segue into today's video. So when I started losing weight, there were several factors that played into my success, and they all happened by chance. I would have, one, never figured out how to properly lose weight, and two, would have likely never started if a couple of things hadn't happened. The first thing that happened was my midlife crisis hit me really hard at 37 years old. It's actually hard to believe it's been 4 years because it still seems like I only just started. And I came to this conclusion that I'm almost 40 years old and I've never known what it was like to be a normal-sized human being. That was when I started changing my eating habits, but what really cemented it and got me researching a lot more was when the pandemic hit. When COVID was in full swing, there wasn't much to do except try to learn everything I could about how to lose weight properly. Looking back on it now, I know that there are 7 key factors that played into my eventual success, but when I was actually doing it, I didn't know. I was just doing it because that was what came natural to me. But when I look back on it now, there were actually 7 things that contributed to my success. And I will share them with you free of charge because there is no magic pill and there is no expensive diet plan. It was just 7 seemingly simple things that are also 7 of the hardest things you'll ever do. So number 1, you need to be mentally ready. Weight loss is not quick, it's not easy, and there are no shortcuts because even the shortcuts are difficult. For example, people think that getting bariatric surgery is quote unquote the easy way to lose weight, when that's really the furthest thing from the truth. You still have to lose the weight to get the surgery, and then you have to permanently alter your lifestyle, because if you don't, you could die. So in order to be successful at anything, you need to have the right mindset for it. If you go into this with a maybe tomorrow mentality, then you're not ready. If you're waiting to start the new year, you're not ready. If you're waiting till next week, you're not ready. If you say, I'm ready to change my life today and actually mean it, then you're over that first major hurdle. Not everyone is going to be in a living situation that will be conducive to changing lifestyles. Not everyone is going to have a spouse or family member or friend that wants them to change. And if you're letting those people influence you to make bad choices, then I'm sorry to say you're going to fail. If you're not ready to prep meals and cut out all processed food and all fast food because you don't have time, then you're going to fail. I'm sorry, there's no other way to say this. You're going to fail, so don't even bother, don't even try. I'm not going to sugarcoat any of this at all. If you want to lose weight, you better be prepared to make sacrifices. If you're not, then don't waste your time. Number 2, this is not a temporary solution. This is a permanent solution to a permanent problem. This is not a fad diet. This is not a water fast or a juice cleanse. This is a full-blown lifestyle change you will be making that will be for the rest of your life. If you're thinking you're just going to go on keto and lose 50 pounds and go back to eating whatever the hell you want and think you're going to keep all that weight off, don't fucking bother. Again, you're only wasting your time. And eventually you're going to just give up altogether and then whine and complain that you tried everything but you can't lose weight. Yeah, I know that excuse. I made it. I made it for decades. No one was better at making excuses while playing the victim than past me. And it wasn't until I learned that I can't just make temporary changes and keep the weight off, or that I can't just eat intuitively. Only then could I start to make any real changes in my life. Number 3, set realistic goals. Never start out your weight loss journey with your goal weight in mind. It's too big. It's way too big at that point. Your ideal weight is going to change and fluctuate depending on how you feel when you start to approach it. Sometimes your ideal weight is going to be less than what you thought. Sometimes it'll be more than what you thought, but you'll know when you get there. You want to start by setting little goals that you know you can achieve. And when I say little goals, this is going to be kind of a big thing. Okay, it's still a lifestyle change. Start by cutting out all fast food. Okay, it's just if you're in the habit of eating fast food every day, that's the first thing you've got to cut. Cut out all fast food. Cut out all sugar, any drink with calories in it. Cut it all out, because these are sources of calories that you're consuming that you're not realizing just how much you're consuming of them, because there's no real way to know. So cut out all the sodas, all the juices, anything that has calories in it, and then cut out all fast food. Start with that. Just start with that. And it sounds simple, but it's really hard to do. But if you can do that, then you can move on to the next goal, which will be to start cutting out, ultra-processed foods. Or maybe you can just cut out 1 or 2 things that you eat every day that are not really good for you. So if you're having, 2 donuts in the morning, cut those out. If you're having a Big Mac in the evening, cut that out. And then, start making those little changes, but start cutting those calories, start cutting that food that you normally eat, and I guarantee you, you'll start to lose the weight. If you're calories in, calories out, I don't care what anybody says. The more calories you eat, the more you're going to have to expend in order to burn those calories. So if you're eating more calories than you're burning, you're going to be putting on excess weight. It's period. There is no, people are going to try to make excuses that, your genetics determine this, that, and the other. But the truth is, don't fucking listen to them, because it is calories in, calories out. I made those excuses for so many years, and it got me nowhere. So if you're thinking like that, and you're dead set on thinking like that, then don't fucking bother losing weight, because you're not ready. And you're too stupid to understand what it takes to lose weight. And I mean, you're stupid in the way that you're not listening to the facts. You're choosing then to remain stupid. And if you do that, don't bother. So set a weight loss goal of 1 to 2 pounds a week. Though realistically, depending on how heavy you are, like if you're as big as I was almost 400 pounds. When I started losing weight, when I started just eating less, I think when I first started out, I was cutting about 500 calories a day, 500 or 600 calories a day. And I was losing like 2 to 3 pounds a week. And then I started cutting, I think I cut like 1,000 calories a day. And then boom, I was losing like 5 to 6 pounds a week. So this is, of course, a temporary thing. The more weight you lose, the harder it is to lose the weight. But when you're really, really morbidly obese, your body is working very hard just to keep you alive. And it's burning so many calories to keep all of that mass, functioning. So when you start cutting calories, all of that stored fat that you have on your body, it's going to start using that up, because you're not feeding it the calories that you normally do, and your body is going to start expending more and more of that fat to keep you alive. So the more fat that you're expending, the more you're going to lose. But keep in mind that once you start to get to a certain weight, and this will usually happen probably about when you're about a quarter of the way into your weight loss journey, you're going to start to notice a drop off in the amount of weight that you're losing. So set realistic goals. When I say set realistic goals, I also mean set realistic end goals as well. Mine was to lose 200 pounds by my 39th birthday. So 200 pounds in a little over 2 years. So I was 5 pounds shy of that, but I still accomplished something great. And it was realistic for me to lose that amount of weight, because I almost did it. Well, I basically did do it. I got to my goal weight, which was a weight that I actually felt like was my goal weight, which was 182 pounds. Need to get back down to that again, but I knew that was where I wanted to be, and eventually I'm going to get back down to that weight again. So that's my short-term or my long-term goal right now. So to start losing weight, you have to start with your diet. It's as simple as that. You may have heard the phrase, you can't outrun a bad diet, and it is so true. No matter what you do or how much you exercise, if you're eating and drinking shit on a daily basis, you're still consuming more calories than you can feasibly burn off. Just look at how much you have to run, okay? Look at how many calories you have to burn to work off something simple as a Big Mac, okay? A Big Mac, I think, is like 540 calories. So that would be roughly 12,000 to 13,000 steps. That is just for a Big Mac. Now, if you're eating donuts and bagels while drinking sugary lattes in the morning, while eating a Big Mac meal for lunch, which includes French fries and a soda, and maybe something else. Sometimes people eat even more than that. And then think, when you come home, you don't feel like making anything, so you just order a pizza or something like that. You may be consuming like over 4,000 calories a day, and you won't even realize it. You won't even realize that you're eating that much. Most of us have no idea just how much we're actually consuming, and why fat people usually say, I don't even eat that much. I don't understand why I'm so fat. It must be genetics. The reality is, we're taught to be stupid when it comes to food. In the United States, we've literally been fed poison since childhood, which has helped shape us into junk food addicts well into adulthood. We grew up eating ultra processed, sugary cereals, horribly unhealthy school lunches, Lunchables. I think they're trying to make like Lunchables a food group or part of a balanced lunch or something like that. Yeah, that's not at all like the food companies doing that shit. But this is the reality. We grew up eating ultra processed foods. We grew up drinking sodas. We grew up drinking fruit juices, which we were told was healthy, which they're not. Fruit juices have just as much, if not more, sugar than soda does. If you're going to start your lifestyle change, you need to be hyper aware of just what you're putting into your body. So if you want to change your diet, don't start by counting calories. I know that kind of contradicts what I just said above, but hear me out, okay? Cut out the sodas and the fast food and the eating out, okay? Once you've gotten into the habit of cooking for yourself, cut out most or all of the processed or ultra processed food that you consume daily. If you want to keep your bread, okay, just watch how much you eat of it, but try to keep, most ultra processed foods out of your pantry, your fridge, and your freezer. No chips, no crackers, no frozen dinners or pizzas, no cakes, no rich desserts, no fruit juices, no sodas. If it's in a package and has more than 2 ingredients in it, don't buy it. If it has added sugars, don't buy it. Once you do that and you're comfortable eating more whole foods, try to eat more fibrous foods, especially as snacks, like apples, carrots, oats, beans, potatoes, with the skin, so on. Eat more lean protein. Safest bet is always going to be chicken breast. If you want other sources of protein like turkey, beef, or even eggs, go for it. I eat a ton of eggs every day because they're rich in vitamins, protein, and healthy fat. You may have heard that eggs are bad for you because they have lots of dietary cholesterol, but that's just the bullshit we've been fed, because I've actually eaten a lot of eggs and I've had my cholesterol checked and it's actually lower than it's ever been. So, take that as, and the thing is that eating like ultra processed foods are going to increase your cholesterol a whole lot faster than eating any kind of whole food will. Even if it's the most unhealthy whole food, you're still going to be better off eating that whole food than you would be eating ultra processed food all the time. And once you start doing this, you'll already be cutting around 50 to 60% of your usual daily caloric intake, because whole foods are usually much less calorie dense than ultra processed foods. You can eat a lot more of them for less calories than if you did eating the same amount of ultra processed foods. You'd probably be eating triple or even quadruple the amount of calories. Now, obviously, stuffing your face with whole avocados is going to be rather calorie dense. So now that you've done this, start counting your calories and getting the correct portion sizes for your daily caloric goals. And you can do this by, downloading the MyFitnessPal app. I did that a lot when I was tracking my calories. They're pretty accurate, but nothing is ever going to be 100%. It's just going to be pretty close to what you need to follow. And if you're following that, chances are you're good. Number 5, incorporate light aerobic activity when you're starting. Now that you've changed your diet, you're ready to start exercising. Now, when I say you're ready to start exercising, don't just fucking go ham at the start, okay? All you're gonna do is just hurt yourself, or be so sore that you're not gonna want to do it anymore. If you can only walk around the block for starting, if you can only like walk around the block once a day to start with that, and then increase it. Then start walking a mile, then walk 2 miles. If you've got a bike and a place to ride it, ride your bike. Just keep moving. The more you move, the more you're going to put yourself into a caloric deficit. And the more that you push yourself, the more you push yourself, the more you're going to want to do. And then once you start getting used to being more active, you're ready for number 6, which is resistance training. Now, this is probably one of the most important things an overweight or obese person can do to lose weight, because it's passive calorie burning. When you do resistance training, you're building muscle, which takes a lot of calories for your body, which takes a lot of calories for your body to do. I mean, it's got to repair and build the muscle, and it does all this while you're resting. So, while lifting weights isn't going to burn a whole lot of calories while you're doing it, like cardio can, it will begin to change your body composition. You'll start to look more toned. If you've ever seen someone who's lost like a massive amount of weight in a short period of time, but they haven't done any kind of weight training at all, they look kind of thin and deflated. And it almost looks like they're skinny fat. Building muscle helps alleviate a lot of that. It actually it recomposes your body. It makes you look more healthy. It makes you look, more, I guess, fit. And that's what you're kind of wanting to go for. You don't want to look sickly. You don't want to look thin. You want to look fit. And, resistance training will do that. And it will also help you passively burn calories, which is always good. Finally, number 7 is keep a routine. If you do resistance training 3 days a week and cardio 3 days a week, stay consistent when you can. If you have time during lunch for a quick walk, do it, and do it every day. When you keep a routine, that routine becomes a habit, and it becomes really hard to break a habit once it's formed. You'll find that, once you've developed a habit, if you miss a workout, you feel awful. Like you actually feel kind of sick in a way, because your body's expecting something that it's not getting, even if it's exercise. So like, let's say that you quit smoking, your body's expecting cigarettes. So you're gonna feel that withdrawal from the cigarette smoking. And I know this is gonna sound so freaking bizarre to a lot of people who have never gotten into the habit of exercising, but when you've gotten into the habit of exercising and you miss a day, you feel withdrawals from it. And you may not even, like, there are days that you won't feel like exercising, but your body just sort of needs to do it. It feels like it needs to do it. It becomes a habit at that point. So that's really the only advice I can give on weight loss. And if you can do those 7 things, then you will succeed at losing weight. But you have to be in the right mindset for it. You have to stop making excuses, and you have to just do it. Because if you make excuses, you're going to end up like the people on Fat Talk. So let's get into that, because that's a whole other horrible case of brain rot that I'm going to, I guess, get into right now. Okay, I have to start this again because I forgot to mute my microphone when playing the video, so we got like this weird echo going on here. So I'm gonna go through a few of these fucking TikToks. I hate this platform, by the way. I really hate going through TikTok. I know I've posted TikTok videos to advertise my books, but my God, is this absolute brain rot. But anyways, I'm not going to go off into that because I'm just going to sound like even more of a boomer. But so this person, she looks fairly young. I mean, she looks probably about 23-ish, 24. I don't know how old she is. I didn't look at her profile. But she's obviously overweight. I wouldn't call her like extremely fat. I mean, she's overweight. She has a very pretty face. She's a very pretty woman, okay? But she is overweight, and she's eating a lot of, bad things for her body. I don't know whether there's marks on her arms or like bruises or whatever, but eventually, once you're consuming a lot of this food and you're gaining more and more weight, you become pre-diabetic. And the signs of pre-diabetes are usually like darkening areas around the neck, armpits, groin, those areas. And I don't know whether she's got that yet. I mean, skin tags are another sign of pre-diabetes or diabetes. But like right now, she's in the prime of her life. Like it's not too late. Like, in fact, she's not even that fat. Like, she's saying that she's a fat person, but yeah, she's overweight. She is fat, but she's like, she's not even that fat. Like, she could lose the weight very easily. And I mean, I don't know. It's like she's at this weight now where she could, if she started now, she could very easily lose the weight. She could actually start to get fit and And in your 20s, man, it's like the best thing you can do for yourself. And I wish that I had started in my 20s. I really do, because once when you're in your 20s and you're abusing your body this much for so many years, when you get into your like late 30s and 40s, it starts to catch up with you. And I think that like the most dangerous thing about people in their 20s is that they are some of the most stupid people. They are just the stupidest people on the planet. Like they have absolutely no clue about life. Um, they have no clue what's going to happen to them, but they think that they know everything, and that combination makes it almost deadly. And in fact, it has been. There have been people that have died in the fat acceptance community. Some of them in their 20s. Sadly, I think there was one. I forgot what her name was. I have to go through some of these. One of them really wanted to lose weight. Like she knew that she was going to die if she didn't lose the weight, and she started her weight loss journey, but it was just too late. Her body had already given out, and she ended up dying. Like I think she was in her late 20s. Um, and God, that is like your late 20s, dying in your late 20s, like of something as preventable as obesity is, dying from complications from obesity in your late 20s, like that is just tragic. Like that is beyond tragic. And this woman right here, I mean, she's like 23, 24 years old. I mean, she looks, if she's older than that, she definitely looks younger. um, she has time. Like she has time right now, she can do this. But let's see what she has to say.
Oh my god, stop. What are you doing?
Eating a taco from Taco Bell.
You really shouldn't be eating that.
I shouldn't fuel my body because why?
It's
You're not fueling your body, you're poisoning your body, actually. And it doesn't really matter if you're fat or thin. If I see somebody eating Taco Bell, I'm immediately going to turn away in disgust, because first of all, Taco Bell is extremely disgusting, and second of all, it's fast food, and I have not eaten fast food in over 4 years. Actually, yeah, it's been over 4 years now, and I don't ever want to eat fast food again. So yeah, I don't care if you're fat or thin. If you're eating fast food, you're eating absolute garbage. Now, every now and then, it's fine. If you're eating fast food like once in a great while, okay, whatever. But I have a feeling this lady is eating fast food probably on a daily basis. So yeah, you're not fueling your body at this point. You're just poisoning it. So yeah.
it's just not good for your
Well,
health.
it's not good for your health.
Okay, so what?
Oh my god, I forgot to mute my microphone again. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mute my microphone now. You're just gonna have to deal with the echo.
See all these other thin people eating the exact same thing I am, yet you're targeting me?
Well, yeah, because they're thin. They don't need to be told anything.
Okay, so I mean, this is not really a realistic scenario here. First of all, a stranger usually doesn't come up to a person and say, "Should you really be eating that?" I mean, first of all, that's really fucking rude. But second of all, she, I mean, it's probably her friend, and if her friend is also eating Taco Bell, that's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. You're both eating garbage, and I don't care if you're thin or fat, it doesn't really matter. You're still putting garbage in your body. So eventually you're going to be fat. It doesn't matter if you're thin or not. If you're eating all of this junk food, all of this processed food, eventually it's all going to catch up to you. So, some of us unfortunately pack it on a lot faster than other people do.
Oh, so I see. You're just fat phobic, and anytime a fat person is happy living, you don't want them to be.
So you're gonna hear this a lot in the fat talk community. This word fat phobic. I'm sure all of you have heard this this word. It means absolutely nothing. It's a fake word. It's stupid. There is no such thing as being fat phobic. There is such a thing as being as not wanting to be fat, as being afraid to be fat, and that to me would be more fat phobic. Like I am deathly afraid of being fat again, because I know how it felt I know how sick I was, and I know how close to death I was. So yeah, definitely want to be fucking afraid to be fat. But yeah, she says like, she says, you see a fat person is happy living. Well, you're happy living now, but you're not going to be living that long if you keep eating this shit, I think. So, I mean, this is very preachy TikTok. This is a very like unrealistic scenario. It's just she's trying to gaslight people. It's really kind of sad, but you'll see that a lot in this. There's a lot of victim mentality in this area of TikTok.
You have to do something about it. You just have to, right? Yeah, well, guess what? I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna eat my taco.
Goodness. So yeah, I mean, really hope that she comes around eventually. You know, I'm not gonna make fun of her because you don't. In order to get people to lose weight, making fun of them is not a way to do it. Um, it's more of like you want to encourage them, but these people don't really want to be encouraged either. They just they want to get as fat as possible and also make everyone aware of it and also make everyone uncomfortable while at the same time making everyone else accommodate for them because they feel entitled to that for some reason when really being fat is within your control the entire time. So I don't get that. It's stupid and I'm not here for it. So let's move on to the next one. Intuitive eating. I know I have binge eating disorder and I've tried intuitive eating and it does not work. Remember what I said earlier about how people, whenever you eat certain foods, you don't really realize how many calories you're consuming, especially if you drink a lot of like sugary drinks. You could be drinking and you do that subconsciously. Like you could be subconsciously eating or drinking things and you don't realize that you're eating them. And the thing is that when you're eating ultra processed food or when you're eating very sugary foods, it tricks your mind into thinking that you're not even full when really you're satiated, like you're beyond satiated, but in your mind you're still hungry. And this is why people get so fat by eating this crap, because they don't feel full. And this ultra processed food tricks the mind into thinking that you're still hungry when you're not. So intuitive eating, it's a bunch of bullshit. Don't listen to anybody who claims intuitive eating actually works. It does not.
This is what I eat in a day as a fat woman who doesn't want to lose weight and who believes really deeply in intuitive eating. So first, I had some overnight oats with...
So I just wanted to say, like, first of all, she's not even that fat either. Like, I mean, she's overweight, obviously, but like, God, this is so frustrating because she's not even that fat. She can lose the weight right now and be fine. She's very young. Why? I just don't know why she's like, she doesn't care. Like, it bothers me, but at the same time, I understand because I was a 20-something at one point as well, and I didn't really care either. So, but I also didn't announce it to everybody on social media and start a whole fucking movement about it. Like, this is just, it's very harmful, especially to people who want to lose weight, who then think that they can't or they shouldn't because they'll be ostracized from a community, which does happen in this very toxic community a lot.
with some milk, chopped up almonds, and cinnamon in them, and I paired that with a grapefruit with sugar on it. I always put sugar on grapefruit. Why wouldn't you?
Oh, sugar on grapefruit. I mean, grapefruit's disgusting. If you have to put sugar on something, then it obviously doesn't want to be eaten. I'm sorry, grapefruit is just nasty. And adding sugar to grapefruit already has a lot of sugar in it. Citrus has a lot of sugar in it. Fruit in itself has a lot of fructose. So just adding sugar to it is just adding unnecessary calories to your breakfast. What she was eating before, it's very calorie dense. Yeah, it looks healthy, but if you drill down into it, it's a very calorie dense breakfast, especially with all those nuts in there. And then now she's got even more nuts, hazelnuts. Hazelnuts are not a very good thing to eat when you want to lose weight. Obviously, she says, as a fat person who doesn't want to lose weight, well, of course, you're not going to lose weight if you're eating this shit. Nuts are fine. Nuts are good for you when they're eaten in moderation. The problem is that nobody ever eats them in moderation. I know I don't. the serving size for nuts is like one handful. Who the fuck eats one handful of nuts? Raise your hand. You're lying. It's like, who eats just one chip from the bag? Nobody, okay? So one serving of nuts, no, nobody's eating one serving of nuts. They're usually eating 2 to 3 or even 4 servings of nuts. Obviously, if you're going like hiking for 10 to 20 miles, eat the nuts. It's fine. You're burning off a lot more calories than you're consuming. But if you're pretty much staying at home and you're not doing much movement and you're trying to lose weight, nuts are probably one of the most dangerous foods that you could eat under the guise of being healthy, because they are healthy, but they're also loaded with fat. Like, they are some of the most fat dense foods that you could eat.
Then I had roasted hazelnuts. If you live in Canada, Dollarama has a really cheap selection of nuts, and I love them. Then last night I had made some Thai curry for dinner, so I had that with some fried onions, green onions on top, and some whole wheat naan bread because I ran out of rice.
I mean, that dinner's not bad. I mean, it's not like she's like making her food. So I mean, that's first and foremost. I don't think she's eating like highly processed things. I mean, the noodles and the bread. I mean, it's very carb heavy, but I mean, it could be worse.
And then I donated blood, and they gave me this little snack, so I had some orange juice and chips for a mid-afternoon snack, followed by a pomegranate. Originally, I wanted to save half for tomorrow, but I put a lot of labor into this, and it's really beautiful and delicious, so I ate it all.
Pomegranate. I mean, you're basically eating the seeds of the fruit. It's not going to pack on the pounds, and pomegranate's pretty good for you anyways. It's just really expensive.
And then for supper, I just wanted to keep it simple. I had some skillet gnocchi. They kind of taste like pizza pops almost.
So here's where we're starting to get into like the processed, ultra processed food. Like I said, anything that's in a package is going to be ultra processed. Very not good for you. Obviously, if you're Italian and you're making this homemade, like I was actually watching an Italian show earlier and they were making this. Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be pretty fattening and calorie dense, but when you're eating ultra processed food that is made like this, they're putting in so many more things, so many more additives, so many more preservatives and chemicals and stuff. So it's really not a good thing. I mean, she's not really being truthful here. Like, I know that this is not all she's eating. Like, she's got 2 eggs here. She's got celery with ranch. And of course, this is quite a lot of this, but I'm quite sure that this is not all she's eating.
Really good. And honestly, I need to get groceries, but it's not realistic that every meal is going to be beautifully plated and thought out. It's still a really balanced meal, so I was happy with it. And then for a late night snack, I stole some of my boyfriend's buffalo chicken wings.
There it is. Late night snack, buffalo chicken wings. So, yeah, good luck with that. Let's see, what else we've got on the Fat Talk. Being overweight is the smartest thing you can do. I told you, like these, and this generation, this age group, they're some of the stupidest people that you will ever see, and it's kind of infuriating. It's very sad, and it's also like, it's very dangerous because, like I said, they think that they are very smart, but they're on TikTok. It's just one big echo chamber, just one big everybody just affirming one another left and right. It's not a very good environment to be in. But let's hear what this very obese woman has to say. And by the way, her body shape, this is like the apple shape of the body. This is probably one of the most dangerous, because there are different dangers of fat. Like if she had, a smaller waist, but like humongous hips, humongous legs, that sort of thing, like that is, it's not dangerous fat. But when you have a lot of fat around your organs, a lot of visceral fat like this is very conducive to getting type 2 diabetes, heart disease, all that kind of good stuff, or bad stuff. So, all right, let's hear why being overweight is the smartest thing you can do. Oh God, this is the delusional shit on TikTok is just unreal.
You know why being overweight is one of the smartest things you could do? Just imagine a zombie apocalypse and there's no food left. Overweight people keep all the food in their belly, therefore, they would live longer than people who aren't overweight.
And the thing is that everything that she just said was so off the wall, dumb. And then she has this like smug look on her face, like she just said something absolutely profound when she was just an absolute idiot. First of all, dear, if it's a zombie apocalypse, you probably wouldn't have outrun them. It doesn't matter how slow the zombies are. You've probably already gotten eaten, honey. And second of all, if there's no food around and we've resorted to cannibalism, you are probably about a good 2 or 3 weeks worth of food right there. So obviously you're not going to be getting away from a thin person who wants to eat you. See, I've really nothing else to say to this. This is just bizarre. Like, good Lord. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's go with some weight loss TikToks. I'm tired of this. This is getting out of hand. Okay, let me mute my microphone.
I'm recruiting all the friends. When we bag filled with bands, gone sexy, do your dance. Get it sexy, get it sexy, get it sexy, get it sexy. Boy, you know this ass super fat.
Wow, she's beautiful. Okay, so that was really good. That was actually really a fantastic weight loss, and there's a YouTuber named Michelle McDonald, I believe her name is. She has a YouTube channel where she talks a lot about weight loss and stuff like that, and especially weight loss as being a black woman. And she said one of the things that she said was in the black community, like black women are expected to be overweight. Like if you get too thin, like they tell you, oh, you don't want to get too skinny because then you're going to be unattractive or whatever. And I'm glad that she didn't listen to any of that and she lost the weight. So kudos, that's awesome. Let's find another one. I know I saved a couple of these.
In order for things...
Okay, so this one was actually really, really good. She's a very morbidly obese woman. And she's obviously making a lot of lifestyle changes right here. So let's take a look at that.
Things to change, you've got to be willing to get up and do something. You don't have to be perfect, but you've got to make a move.
So, wow. Okay, it's so incredible to see like the fat just melting away and for her to just get better and better and better at, you know, doing what she's doing. And she looks like she's an older woman, probably in her, I guess, in her maybe mid 40s, 50s. I can't really tell. It's the camera's a little too far away. But yeah, I mean, the excess loose skin is always something that we're going to have to contend with. I contend with it as well. You know, being as heavy as I was, you know, you're going to have the loose skin under the arms. You're going to have the loose skin near the belly or the groin area and stuff like that. But it's better. I mean, this can be, you know, removed if you want to have surgery or if you want to keep it. It doesn't really matter. I mean, as long as it's not causing any health issues. But like, it's still better than being morbidly obese and being in pain all the time. Like, it hurts to walk. It hurts to live when you're that heavy. And just doing stuff like just riding a bike like this, it can be excruciating when you first start. Like, I mean, there's so much pressure on your tailbone. I remember when I first started riding my exercise bike, there was just so much pressure on my tailbone. And it just hurt. I couldn't sit there for very long. And of course, getting out of breath and your legs hurt and everything just hurts. And once you lose all that weight, it just feels so much better. All right, let's do like one more.
How bad do you actually want the thing that you want? Seriously, ask yourself and be honest with the answer, because you can't kind of want it. You're gonna lose. You're not just competing against people who kind of want it. You're not just competing against people who want it bad. You're also competing against people who need to do it. You are competing against people that wake up every single day and their sole purpose, their sole mission is to get better at the thing that you want to do. People that are willing to give up partying, video games, whatever they have to give up. That's your competition. So unless you're massively talented or massively intelligent or have some genetic advantage that nobody else has, you can't half-ass it. You can't take half measures. You can't sit around and scroll on social media all day and play video games and go hang out with the boys and still expect to win. If you're not willing to give up everything, if you're not willing to go all...
Did you see that smile on her face? It's just like, when you see like the progress and when you feel it, you know, it doesn't matter what part of your weight loss journey it is. When you're actually starting to see the results, when you're starting to feel the results, when you're starting to feel like healthier, when you're feeling like less in pain, and you're noticing everything, it's like you start to smile for real. Like you just, for the first time, you just have that genuine smile and your face just lights up and you just look so much more attractive, you know, just because you feel more attractive. You feel better. And you feel less sick. I think feeling less sick makes you feel more attractive, and you could really see that in this video. So kudos to her. She's really pretty. And I think that's all I'm going to do, because this video is getting kind of long. But I did want to highlight, because not everything on TikTok is toxic. Not everything on TikTok is stupid. You have these women on here who are making a change in their life, and they're very proud of themselves, and they very well should be proud of themselves. And I, you know, no matter what anybody says in this community, you know, if you're happy losing weight and you're at that point where, and these women, you obviously can tell, like they were ready. They had it in their mind that they are going to make the change, and you can start to see it. And they're holding themselves accountable for it as well, and it's really awesome to see, and it really paints a positive picture of TikTok, of this social media platform. Even though it's got more bad than good, but every now and then you'll get these gems that you come across, and it makes everything a little brighter. So, anyways, that's really all I'm going to say today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, hit the like and subscribe button, and I will probably go into another topic next week. We'll see. But anyways, see you guys later.